Um, and I think we're good to go. Um, Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Welcome to Building Foundational Skills for the Transit Workforce. We're launching the Transit Core Competencies Curriculum, as we will be referring to it, TC3. Really appreciate your joining us. I'm Pat Greenfield. I'm Senior Director for Workforce Education at the International Transportation Learning Center, ITLC. We operate Transit Workforce Center, the Federal Transit Administration's National Technical Assistance Center for Workforce Development. And you see our mission here, essentially. We know we've seen the folks on the phone. We've worked with a lot of you folks who are on the webinar. So it's great to at least see people in some form today. In carrying out our mission, TWC provides a range of FTA-supported services related to the entire frontline workforce development life cycle, essentially, from recruitment and retention through skills development, technological transitions, career advancement, supporting and developing programs in areas of mentorship, apprenticeship, as well as TC3. You see that on the chart, and that's our subject today. We also provide direct technical assistance, funding information, and easily accessible workforce resources and data through our resource center. And all our materials are available on our website at transitworkforce.org, where you can also access our technical assistance help desk for any questions you might have. And please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Now I want to turn our TC3 program, the rest of the program, over to our program manager for instructional design, Kristen Robato, who really has been responsible for developing and launching TC3 in partnership with key frontline subject matter experts in the field. I think you'll find that this is a tremendous resource, and she really has been the project's key coordinator, key mover, has really made this happen. So many thanks to Kristen, and over to you.
Thanks, Pat. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's nice to see so many familiar names. Before we begin, just a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed out in the coming days. We'll leave time at the end for questions, but if you have any questions along the way, just throw them into the Q&A feature, and Pat will be monitoring those. So today we are going to discuss why TC3 was developed. We'll give an overview to the full program, and then we'll introduce our electrical foundations course. I'll spend some time walking through all the resources that are available for you all, and then we will talk about future course releases, and we'll wrap up with some questions and discussion. So we'll start with the challenge that led to the development of TC3. A few years ago, I was working on another project here with maintenance folks from across transit agencies across the country. And during a discussion with them about workforce challenges, one person from a large agency in DC shared a story about how he was working with a new employee on the shop floor, and they were measuring train wheels. And when he asked what the measurement was, the guy said, "It's 33 and a little bit." Now, I'm not technically minded at all, so I probably would have said the same exact thing. But what really stood out to me after that story was that there were 30 other people in the room, and they all immediately after shared very similar stories. So back at ITLC, TWC, we talked to more agencies from small to large, rural to urban, and we kept hearing the same challenges. Employees were entering the workforce with these varying levels of foundational knowledge, whether that was reading a tape measure, understanding fractions, or using a computer. Those foundational skills that sometimes we take for granted weren't always there. And that's how TC3 was born and where TC3 comes in and can help support y'all. So TC3 is not designed to replace your technical training. It's designed to help strengthen that foundation beneath it. by providing consistent foundational skills training materials. Our hope at TWC is that TC3 can help support you in building your employee skills and confidence. Like Pat said earlier, TC3 stands for Transit Core Competencies Curriculum. And the entire curriculum consists of foundational training resources designed to support both maintenance and operations employees. The curriculum includes course materials in electrical foundations, mechanical foundations, shop math, computer basics, industry awareness, and workplace relations. Our goal wasn't just to simply create training content or a PowerPoint slide. We really wanted to create practical, ready-to-use resources and materials that agencies could immediately implement. The materials, because we're FTA funded, are all freely available. Everything is modular, scalable, and customizable. So you can use a single module, you can use the entire electrical course, or you can adapt the materials to fit your local environment and your local workforce needs. One of the strengths in the TC3 program is the collaborative approach we took throughout the planning and development process. These materials were created with input from transit subject matter experts around the country, trainers, agency leadership, labor representatives, and frontline employees. They worked with our team at TWC, our instructional designers, to help build everything that you'll have access to. We also piloted the materials, and in doing so, we were able to gather critical feedback and make revisions based on what we learned. The pilots are always important for us as part of the process because it helps to ensure that the content we're putting out there reflects real-world transit environments and the needs y'all are facing at your agencies. TC3 includes 4 technical foundation areas designed to build core knowledge and skills. The first is electrical foundations, and this introduces learners to essential electrical concepts and theory, terminology, and safety practices. We'll dive deeper into this course in just a few minutes. The mechanical foundations course provides basic mechanical principle understanding, components, tools, and systems that form the backbone of maintenance operations. This course, there is a lot of focus on correct and safe tool usage. Our computer basics course helps employees develop confidence using workplace technology, including operating systems, digital communication tools, file management, and common software applications. While most of our TC3 courses are designed for instructor-led delivery, Computer Basics is a little different, and it offers the flexibility of either instructor-led training or self-paced video learning. This approach we've seen has been effective for learners who may feel a little less comfortable with technology, and it allows them to build skills and confidence at their own pace before they then apply it on the job. And the last one is Shop Math, which strengthens those math skills needed for technical work. It includes topics such as measurement, fractions, decimals, formulas, all different calculations that are used in everyday maintenance tasks. So we're hoping these 4 courses together can establish a common baseline of knowledge and prepare learners for that more advanced agency-specific technical training and hands-on skill development. I will pass it back to Pat, who will talk about our workplace courses.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Kristen. Yeah, so the industry awareness and workplace relations modules actually cover a different set of foundational skills. And while they can be used in any context in the workplace, you might find them most useful with newly hired folks. They can also be very helpful in any kind of career awareness program that you have, where you have the opportunity to work with community and education partners, introducing potential applicants to the transit industry and the transit workforce. Earlier versions of these modules, which were actually the early versions were created particularly for career awareness, have been used for a number of years now by transit agencies in a series of career pipeline partnerships. So they have been around for a while, and they, again, can be used for the folks coming in or folks you really want to attract and make them aware of what these jobs are like. The industry awareness module provides an overview of what public transportation actually is, how critical it is to communities, how folks who work in this industry serve their communities, and the range of career opportunities that are provided, and how to access those opportunities, with an emphasis on the frontline operators and technicians. It also provides an introduction to a range of new technologies being used. The workplace relations module is particularly useful for people new to the workplace, generally, and in transit specifically. It covers through exercises and discussion, baseline workforce skills like teamwork, communications, professionalism, and conflict resolution, using scenarios that are based in the transit workplace. It also covers basics like the role of personnel handbooks. What's a personnel handbook? What are the types of rules, policies, procedures, and basic workplace obligations and rights. And again, all of this can be customized. So for unionized agencies, an introduction to the role of a union in the transit workplace. And these two in particular are broadly applicable across operations and maintenance both.
Like I just shared, Electrical Foundations is our first release, and it's very exciting. This has been a labor of love, not only for our instructional design team, but there have been so many folks within the industry that have helped support this in a variety of capacities. So, Electrical Foundations, it's a 7-module course that introduces learners to key electrical concepts, terminology, safe practices, real-world transit applications. We are estimating the full 7 modules to run about 40 hours. And the content was designed specifically for transit employees who may be new to electrical systems, are transitioning into maintenance roles, or just looking to strengthen their understanding of foundational concepts. Our goal is to build knowledge, confidence, skills. We are not going to turn someone into an electrician after 40 hours. So we are launching electrical first because it has consistently been one of the most requested topics from agencies when we've talked about the TC3 program. Before we move on, I do just want to thank the agencies, instructors, subject matter experts who helped make this electrical course possible. Their contributions to the development, review, answering our instructional design teams, hundreds of questions, it was really invaluable. So GCRTA in Cleveland, CATA in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Montgomery County in Rockville, Maryland. Thank you for your partnership and support throughout this effort. We really appreciate all of the content reviews and piloting and feedback that have really helped to shape the course that everyone can finally see now. So one of our primary goals was to make TC3 easy to implement regardless of an agency's size or training resources. From the beginning, we designed all of the materials to support not only the learners, but the instructors that are delivering the content. We didn't want to just provide a slide deck, so we created a complete training package that includes not only guidance, but activities, assessments, supporting resources to help those instructors deliver the content consistently and confidently. So, whether you're part of a training department in a large agency or you're a single trainer who's wearing multiple hats, TC3 is designed to make implementation as straightforward as possible. And we'll take a quick tour of the materials now from the electrical course. So we really wanted to create something that supports instructors before, during, and after course delivery. So every course module comes with a PowerPoint slide deck with detailed speaker notes, facilitation guidance, discussion prompts, and key teaching points. All of the modules also come with instructor demonstrations. We also have activities for all of the learners to participate in. Each module has a quiz. Quiz answers are also provided. And then we also have a participant guide that accompanies every module, and this is for the learner. So this is what the inside of the participant guide looks like. It's an image of the slide along with some key reference notes and then space for them to take notes so that they can reference later. This follows the exact slide deck that the instructor will use so that everyone can follow along. Next, we have the instructor facilitation toolkit. This is probably my favorite piece of the training packet. For anyone who is going to access and download the electrical materials, there between all 7 modules and supporting documents, there's 45 documents. So it's quite a lot of resources that you have access to, and that can become really overwhelming. But the instructor facilitation toolkit, it's for every module of every course. And what it does is it guides you every step of the way, almost slide by slide. So here's another picture. This is just one page of it, but for every activity or demonstration that is in that module, we provide what materials are needed. That way you can gather those ahead of time. Later in this document, we have a lesson progression chart, and it's what we estimated the timing here, but it takes each topic within the module, how long we think it'll take to teach it, as well as any materials, activities, demonstrations that happen within that section. So we want to make it as easy to implement as possible. That way the materials get used. The electrical course also has a glossary with all of the key terms throughout the 7 modules. There are not only module quizzes for the 7 modules, but there's also a pre-course assessment and a post-course assessment so that you can calculate knowledge gain. And at the end, there is a participant course evaluation survey that they can complete, as well as an instructor post-course survey. And one thing that we really do want to emphasize is that this curriculum, like all training, is always evolving. So we really do value, appreciate, and want your feedback from anyone that uses these materials. If you do implement the TC3 materials and you're willing to share participant or instructor evaluation results, we'd love to hear from you. Our contact information when you go to download these, it's right on that page, so it's pretty easy on how to get that information back to us. But we would appreciate it. That way we can continue to improve these resources for the industry. One of the things that we're most proud of in this program is that these materials weren't just developed and immediately released. We wanted to test them first in a transit environment with actual maintenance employees to see how they worked. And that's where Frank and Montgomery County, Maryland come in. I am going to turn this over to Frank Burnett, who is a longtime partner, trainer, subject matter expert, jack of all trades for us here at TWC.
Thank you, Christian. My name is Frank Burnett. I'm retired IBEW electrician and also a retired signal instructor with a transit agency up in Boston, the MBTA. And I currently work as an adjunct professor for a Boston University. And I partner with the TWC as a subject matter expert, and I provide all types of technical support. But I have found basic foundational skills lacking in, many areas of, my work experience. This final pre-launch delivery that you're seeing here, this was done in Montgomery County, Rockville, Maryland, and the participants varied in their experience level. They were bus mechanics and technicians with a very wide range of electrical, knowledge and skills. The delivery was well received as the design of this modular program creates constant engagement from the workers of the class. As you can see from this slide, there was active involvement, all throughout. I would demonstrate something, they would demonstrate something, we would talk about it. There's a lot of engagement, a lot of involvement to support the technical material. Key topics, like electrical principles and properties, Ohm's law, circuit design, blueprints, and tool and meter usage were all supported with activities. Another story to piggyback on what Christian talked about earlier with the measurement and somebody talking about, 16 and a little bit. I have found, even as an electrician, that there are many times some of our workers, when they have to take measurements with a meter, may have a little difficulty sometimes knowing how to put a meter in a circuit, especially if you haven't done it for a while. Whether you're measuring current, whether you're measuring voltage, it can be an issue. As you can see here, we actually had students using not only setting up circuits, but they were taking measurements and actually using tools in this delivery. So all these skills that we're talking about, they're all useful in maintenance and troubleshooting. So as you can see here, the initial reaction from the foundational skills program varied. And as the week went on, most of the participants appreciated the opportunity to be part of this delivery, and several wanted to sit in on our next pre-launch, which will be the mechanical. That's how well it was received by the end. I can see most of the learners felt that, recognizing that there were some gaps in areas in need of enhancement and refreshing, and that was a common theme in most of our feedback. So overall, I would say that agencies are going to find value in the overall format and structure of this foundational skills material, as all the instructional tools and participant guides are in place for a very effective foundational skills program.
Thanks, Frank. And I think Mike Schlow from Montgomery County, who helped coordinate this pilot, is on. And I will say, Frank and I probably could not have dreamed up a better pilot audience, because these folks, not only did they take something away, but they, asked great questions and really helped give critical feedback about the course. But what stood out to me as someone who has no electrical background is you could see when Frank was talking through the PowerPoints, they're trying to connect it, but then when they get to the hands-on activities, like the light bulb goes off, and they were understanding the concepts better. So they really did enjoy all of the engagement activities and the hands-on approaches in the course.
Yeah, and the one last piece that I will add to that, you can literally see with these slides that there's tools and meters and everything is in place, and that's a big takeaway from the program. It's not just a lot of technical speaking. Every thing that we talked about is supported with hands-on activities and exercises.
Yep. And all of those materials are identified in that instructor toolkit. So hopefully we take a little bit of the work out of it for you. So the TC3 program, lots of ways agencies can use it depending on their needs. There's no single right way to use it. These materials can be used to onboard new hires, provide refresher training to current employees, support apprenticeship or pre-apprenticeship programs, or introduce career pathways to prospective employees, which is really nice because there's a lot of flexibility that the curriculum allows for agencies to adapt it to their workforce development goals. Frank, is there anything you wanted to add here?
In this pre-launch delivery that we did, one of the young man that's actually in this video, he expressed the fact of how valuable something like this would have been for him before he got on the property. And then we had another gentleman who was very experienced. Had been been on the property over 20 years. And his sense was that even though he had knowledge of some of this stuff, it was great to be able to see a material like this that you could take off the shelf just to fill those gaps and have refreshers. So it really has a wide variety of use, from whether it's a new hire or whether it has that refresher piece to it. And the best takeaway from all of that is, because it is modular, you can take it and use it, for pieces as you need.
And how to get started. So like I shared, the TC3 page on the TWC website is live. I do think a question came in for us to show the website, so I think we will in just a few minutes. All of the materials are there for you to download. Something I do want to note is that there are essentially two pages for the electrical course. So there's a public TC3 webpage where you'll find resources that anyone can access, which is the PowerPoint presentations and the participant resource guides for each module. We also maintain a separate instructor resource area that's password protected, and it contains materials intended specifically for trainers and facilitators. We wanted to just maintain the integrity of those. This includes instructor guides, the facilitation toolkits, assessments, and the answer keys, and other resources to support course delivery. So there is a request form on the website for you to request access. That comes to me, and then we just send you the password, and it will look exactly how you see on the screen, where you just click the download button. We encourage and appreciate agencies to stay connected with us throughout the implementation. TWC and our team here, we're available to help answer any questions about the program, share best practices, provide implementation support. And like I said, we really do welcome any feedback as you do begin using these materials, and lessons learned or evaluation data that you're willing to share. So that is the end of our program overview and launch of the electrical course. I will turn it back to Pat for questions.